आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
And ladies and gentlemen, the GST cut, the GST masterstroke is such a gigantic process reform that I believe it has not been fully understood yet. I believe it has to be seen in the context of the determination of the Prime Minister and the Government of India to counter all the global, headwinds that may be coming in right now and turn this into an opportunity. This is not a crisis for the country, this is an opportunity for the country. Why do I say this is so big? Because it's so big that it is estimated. There have been some experts who have given their opinion that for middle-class households, on an average, this could mean household savings of 45,000 rupees annually. And combined with income tax relief, savings could exceed 1.25 lakhs. That 1.25 lakhs for every middle-class Indian household is extra money that you have. Disposable income that you can spend on consumer items, on goods, durables, your daily needs, insurance, medicines, everything else. So, in a way, household costs are effectively cut in a way by almost about 10%. And that, I believe, is very important. The second point I would like to make, and I would like to share with you that I expect Piyush Goyal ji to be joining us in a minute. But before that, this has happened, whether we accept it or not, this has happened in the immediate aftermath of Trump's attempted bullying of the Indian economy. Now, what I find fascinating about the Prime Minister's response is that he's made it clear we are not capitulating. And this is important because every other major economy in the world has capitulated in the backdrop of Trump's bullying. And these are all developed countries, developed economies, big economies, much bigger per capita GDP, but many of them did not have the spine to fight like India is fighting. They are afraid to fight. The GDP of Japan is more than 4 trillion. They did not fight. Germany's nominal GDP is projected to be about 4.7 trillion in 2025. They did not fight. The estimated GDP in PPP terms for the European Union is estimated to be 28 trillion US dollars in purchasing power parity terms. They did not fight. But who fought? India fought, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Minister Modi has fought back, but fought back in a very statesman-like way that does not make it look like he's in a fight. What he's saying to the country is, I will do everything possible to promote Swadeshi. I will do everything possible to promote Make in India. I will make it easier for you to buy your daily household items. I will cut your average cost of living. I will bring in process reforms that simplify matters for you to run your life. I will make it easier for you when you're suffering hardship for medical reasons. I will give you cheaper insurance. I will ensure that your insurance bill is cheaper. Your mortgages are cheaper. I will ensure that your attempt to build a home for yourself becomes cheaper. I just do not want you to put your money into online betting, addictive online stuff, unproductive online gaming. I want you to put your heart and soul towards building India with me together. This intention of the Prime Minister which is being put out in the GST reform is also significant for one more reason, ladies and gentlemen. And that reason is that somewhere the government of India has realized that we are standing eyeball to eyeball, telling Mr. Donald Trump that we will not kneel down to you. But now the time has come to make every single Indian citizen an active participant in that fight back. And therefore, we are living truly in very, very exciting times. We are living in times where we are led by a Prime Minister, heading a government which has said that the only way to be resilient and stronger at this time is to further fortify the Indian economy by boosting consumer spending. This is unconventional thinking. It is the thinking that South Korea could have done, it didn't, it capitulated. It is the thinking Japan could have done, it capitulated. It is the thinking that the European Union could have done, it capitulated. But what the Prime Minister realized is he needs to bring in a significant amount of process reform which empowers the middle class and makes them signatory on the fight. And let me make one prediction today. before Mr. Piyush Goyal joins me. My prediction is that only those who are strong and determined will battle the Americans and win. We will eventually, after these reforms, whatever happens to our economy, our economy will only become stronger. We will deal. We continue to talk to America. We are not enemies with America. We are talking to them. But Americans will also realize right now that there is such deep strategic thinking of the Prime Minister of India, of the government of India, that eventually they will deal with India on our terms. That is why I'm always saying this tonight, that do not look at the GST reforms or the GST cuts in isolation. I'm asking all the viewers, and I have millions of people watching us tonight, and I'll just take 30 more seconds before I introduce Mr. Piyush Goyal. In fact, I can have him on air because, I'm very privileged that he is live with us tonight. People are saying we got the first interview with Piyush Goyal. I said, well and good, but I got the first live interview with Piyush Goyal, and I got it at 9 o'clock. So welcome, Piyush Goyal ji. It's good to see you. We don't see each other as often as we used to when you were in Mumbai and I was in Mumbai, but you're a busy man, you're a headline maker, but you're really dynamic. Now you're in the Lok Sabha, and I'm meeting you on a very happy day. I was just saying, Mr. Piyush Goyal, before I come with my first question to you, I was just summarizing what I was saying to all our viewers, that the viewers must understand that the Prime Minister is a deep thinker, and everything that he's doing is interconnected. If he's saying stop online betting, stop all this money going into online gambling, he wants that money to be used productively. And similarly, he's saying don't buy gutka, don't be an alcoholic, don't eat carbonated food. I'm going to make that a sinful item. He's saying don't buy a yacht. Put that money you would buy into a yacht into something that will be more productive and less leisureful. So I have always believed, Mr. Goyal, and I can start with on that prism with you, that there's always a deep strategic vision behind the economic policy of the Prime Minister, which is often not understood. Sometimes the responses to it are very shallow. Since you work so closely with him, would you like to respond to that and put this whole reform in perspective for us? Mr. Goyal.
Thank you very much, Arnab, and always delightful to be on your show and your channel. My warm wishes and compliments to all your viewers as we all collectively assemble to thank Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi for the game-changing reforms. I personally think it's the largest reform India has seen since independence.
Really?
And truly, here you have a Prime Minister very sensitive to the nation's needs, to the people's desires and aspirations. Here you have a Prime Minister who thinks laterally, comprehensively and holistically, as you were rightly pointing out, whose every step has multi-dimensional impact, who has systematically over 11 years taken a broken economy, a fragile 5 economy, to greater heights, the top 5 economies of the world. And by 2027, we'll be the 3rd largest economy on the globe. A person who has taken 25 crore people out of poverty. He understands the aspirations of the youth. He understands that the women need help and need to see cosmetics, for example. Would love to use the beauty products. Now, there was a point of time where people would not even recognize that beauty products and cosmetics also are important in a person's life. He understands that television sets are getting bigger and better, and therefore now there's an aspiration to have a little larger television screen. He doesn't see air conditioners as a luxury item. Today, more and more of the middle class has started using air conditioners. Bikes, our youth want to have a bike to college or to work. He's made bikes at a concessional GST, lower GST. If you go to see Arnab, from the moment you get up till the moment you get back to bed and sleep, a person, if he thinks about everything that touches his life, he will find in some form or the other a GST benefit that this transformational reform announced yesterday has touched, whether it's textiles, the clothes he wears, the shoes he wears, the watch he wears, the spectacles one wears, the furniture in your home, the bike or the car by which you travel, the public transport, the medicines one uses or the medical devices one uses, the list just goes on and on. Every sector of society has gained from yesterday's game-changing transformational reform.
It's very significant that you have said that this is, in your view, the biggest single reform since independence. Are you saying so only for the benefit that it gives to the average citizen? Or are you saying so with view of its bigger impact in the medium to long term?
Arnab, I have 3 or 4 dimensions when I say this. Do you remember before 2014, there were nearly 35 different types of taxes, levies, duties, and what not have you. The Congress claimed that they made an effort to try and bring a single tax, but they failed miserably because nobody trusted them. Nobody was willing to go along with the Congress style of GST because Congress was not willing to guarantee them sustained revenue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered a 5-year window of 14% growth in their tax collection. 14% is not small, Arnab.
Yes, yes.
And the normal course state's revenue would not grow by 14%. But Prime Minister said, I will give you 14% growth. Committed, guaranteed. And the central government paid for that through the various taxes that we forego and gave into the compensation cesspool. And thanks to that, all the states unanimously agreed, even the opposition ruled states, the taxes were merged, rates were brought down from the then prevailing multiple rates and the cascading effect of which was a big strain on consumers. Over the last 8 years, continuously different taxes were brought down, process simplification and computerization was undertaken, and this time around, he has revamped the entire GST framework, made it simpler to operate, provided benefit on such a vast array of products that will give a big demand boost to the economy. It will be bigger, simpler, more effective tool to promote consumption expenditure, one of the 2 pillars of the GDP growth, infrastructure and consumption. You are all aware that on infrastructure, Mr. Modi's track record is fabulous. The growth in Indian infrastructure anywhere in the country, excellent highways and super roads as good as autobahns, doubling the port capacity, increasing airports from 74 to 158 and modern world-class airports, introducing 104 new inland waterways, the renewable energy, which is 50% of our capacity today, utilities, water supply, taking toilets to everybody's homes, water from a tap through the Jal Jeevan mission. I can list out endless programs on infrastructure which have had a multiplier impact on the economy. When you couple that with consumption spending, which will get a big boost from the GST reform, you can imagine that collectively he has laid the foundation for India's growth journey in the Amrit Kal. We are the fastest growing large economy in the world today. We will continue to be so for the next 22 years so that we emerge as a prosperous, developed nation. Viksit Bharat 2047, which is the collective desire and commitment of 140 crore Indians who are looking up to Prime Minister Modi's decisive and very sensitive leadership to lead us in this journey to Viksit Bharat.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, you are always clear and you don't mince your words. In fact, I loved it when at a recent startup conference you said, and it became viral, everybody commented, why has he said this? You said that your job is not to have more people delivering food. You should be doing startups in sectors that will redefine our manufacturing, our innovation, our R&D. And you are spot on. The fact is, Mr. Piyush Goyal, nobody wants to hear the truth. But sometimes you speak the truth in a manner, some people see it as harsh. I think it's fantastic. I think it's necessary. In that context, I would like to ask you, I was hearing your speech at that Bharat Nutraverse Expo, where you were urging the industry leaders to quote-unquote fully pass on GST rate cut benefits to consumers. I think you made that point a couple of times. Now, Mr. Goyal, last 1 hour I opened the calls. Many people asked the same question. Oh, very good, government has done this, but are we going to get it? Is it going to happen on September 22nd? Either they think it's too good to be true or they're cynical of companies, corporates about passing it on. My question is, in some segments, it's even 0%, everyday items, 5%. What enforcement mechanisms will have to be there to ensure full compliance and immediate compliance from 22nd September?
While, Arnabji, while of course the law provides for mechanisms to ensure that profiteering is not done out of these rate cuts, but Prime Minister Modi's model of working is very different. He believes in trust. He trusts the people of India, the business persons of India, the traders, the industry participants, just as 140 crore Indians trust Prime Minister Modi. You may recall Jan Vishwas. Through the Jan Vishwas bill last year, he liberalized so many laws, decriminalized them. He said, I trust the people of India don't want to do wrong. And if they make a small mistake, we should not be threatening them with jail. Now we've come out with Jan Vishwas Bill 2, where another 355 provisions are being decriminalized. And he's not satisfied. He's given me a target of 1,000 more, of which 500 we have already identified and are in interministerial and stakeholder consultations. So the idea is that we trust the people of India. And we've had conversations with different industry sectors and captains of industry, big and small. They have all assured us that this entire benefit will be passed on to consumers because it is in their own interest. Ultimately, lower prices will lead to higher demand. Higher demand increases your business volumes, brings economies of scale, helps you improve your productivity and efficiency, helps you become more competitive and cost conscious. With that, you become competitive in world markets. So not only the domestic, then you can look at exports. So again, it's a multifarious, multidimensional thinking.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, when the BJP first came to power, I take you back to the time when you gave up all your corporate career, joined politics full time. The middle class of India supported you in a big way. The middle class believed in you and still believes in you. At times, sometimes the middle class has felt that, the government could have done more. I believe this particular step today has removed all those apprehensions, I think, for the middle class people in this country. Because the Prime Minister has taken this cause of the middle class from the front. As much as you can share, can you give any insider story on how the Prime Minister views the role of the middle class, how he looks at the middle class? The middle class of this country, which has truly believed in the Prime Minister's vision, has been very happy about this move. But can you tell me the Prime Minister's personal thinking about the middle class? Because he's not often talking about it as much as he speaks about the economically deprived classes, but you would know him, his approach. Can you share something with us?
See, my Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is a very balanced thinker and doer. Obviously, unless we have inclusive growth and the poorer sections of society, the marginalized sections, come up in life and get into the middle class, the country cannot prosper. For a nation like India to prosper, we have to take people out of poverty, and we are really proud of our Prime Minister, who has taken 25 crore people, a record unheard of in the world anywhere, out of poverty in such a short span of time. They have also come into the middle class. But throughout his tenure, if you look back, you will find that he has had a very sympathetic and very balanced approach towards the middle class. Often it was not recognized as much as it should have been. If you look back on the 11-year track record, every single opportunity he got, he has focused on trying to upgrade the life of the middle class people. After all, when he gives 60 crore people the benefit of Ayushman Bharat, the free healthcare, obviously the country doesn't have so many poor people. They are largely the middle class, the new middle class, who is getting the benefit of free healthcare. When he provides social security through various pension schemes, where he gives the armed forces one rank, one pension, which was a demand for years. And Arnab, you were at the forefront of that.
Absolutely. Sir.
That was one of the first steps taken by Prime Minister Modi in 2014. It was the middle class who benefited from that. When he introduced standard deduction again, which was withdrawn years ago, it was the middle class that he had in mind. Prime Minister has always taken care of the middle class. In earlier years, we had a very broken economy that we had inherited from the Congress. It was a fragile five economy. The banking system had collapsed. The foreign exchange reserves were low. Inflation was super high. Growth was abysmally low. In that situation, he had to prioritize. And despite that, he continued to care both for the poor and the middle class. He has taken the poor into the middle class, and his entire vision is to empower our middle class, who contributes the most to economic growth. Amazing. So that the entire nation, the 140 crore Indians, rise in life. And we give them a good quality of future, good quality of life in the future. Every child born in India should see prosperity, good quality education, good quality healthcare, good quality infrastructure, quality housing, 24 hours electricity, water coming into his home, a toilet in his home, cooking gas connection. After all the cooking gas connections mostly went to the middle class. All the poor coming into the middle class are enjoying the fruits of all the work that Prime Minister Modi has done. So the middle class is central to his vision to take the country forward by 2047, growing from a $4 trillion economy to a $30 trillion economy, $35 trillion economy. And in that, today 140 crore Indians have resolved that we will buy Swadeshi goods. We'll support each other. We'll support domestic industry. And I think that is the strength of India's middle class.
Congress, which you mentioned, is a very funny party. They agreed to GST in Parliament, and then they called it Gabbar Singh tax. And today, the whole day, every Congress leader from Chidambaram to everyone is calling TV cameras saying, I am the author, I am the inspiration, I am the reason this change happened. They're claiming authorship. No, they're trying to claim authorship for this. You know that. They're trying to claim authorship.
Well, आपने शेख चिल्ली की कहानी सुनी है ना?
जी.
वो ख्वाब दिखाते रहे, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी काम करते रहे.
अरे वाह.
वो स्कीम्स ड्रॉप करते रहे, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने धरातल पर जनता की सेवा की. वो लोग करप्शन में लिप्त रहे, चाहे कोलगेट हो, 2G टेलीकॉम स्कैम हो, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स हो, 40,000 रुपए का टिश्यू पेपर लिया जाता था और उन्होंने किसी को नहीं छोड़ा, अंतरिक्ष को भी नहीं छोड़ा. लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने बेदाग 11 वर्ष जनता की सेवा की. और आखिर जब हम भ्रष्टाचार से मुक्ति दिलाते हैं तो वो एडिशनल रेवेन्यू भी तो देश के खाते में, देश के खजाने में जाता है और उसी से तो देश का विकास और गति लेता है.
जी, नहीं वो तो है. I'm not doubting that. I don't take the Congress seriously on this. I just said it. But point is also, Piyush Goyal ji, you know, I have been trying to catch you for a very long time, you know. But your team doesn't let us talk to you on Trump. Viewers, Piyush Goyal is the man who must be wearing armor when he lands in Washington. I have sometimes wonder whether he wears some special bulletproof suit. Do you wear a special bulletproof suit when you go to negotiate with the Americans?
We have.
Huh? You must be having something. Oh, God.
We have,
How are you doing this, by the way? I mean,
Arnab, I can tell you, Arnab, we have good relations with the Americans. We have good relations with our counterparts, the Commerce Secretary or the US Trade Representative. We are negotiating in good faith. There will be occasional disturbances as we go along, but I can assure you the US and India are friends, they are strategic partners, we are allies. They trust and like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and I'm sure the misunderstandings, if any, or the wrong track in which some thoughts have gone, will get resolved, and we will meet the long-term aspirations of the people of the US and India through a fair, equitable, and balanced free trade agreement, respecting the sensitivities of the people of both countries.
no, because there were reports which suggested
one-sided relationship.
No, there were reports which suggested that after the comments made by the US Treasury Secretary, there were some reports that India has effectively walked out from the trade talks, and you have gone on record to say we will neither bow down or appear weak. Now, you are the head of the delegation. You are responsible for securing the trade deal with the US. Is the trade deal still on the table? Do you see a timeline for it? Is it still on the table? Is there a timeline for it? How do you view it?
We negotiate with timelines. You may be aware, I've said it on television many times to you, that we never negotiate with timelines. We negotiate in good faith, and I have the courage of conviction that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, certainly we will be able to come to a fair and equitable free trade agreement, or maybe the first tranche of the bilateral trade agreement that was discussed and decided by our leaders in February. And we'll try to do it soon.
So you're saying it's not necessary to do everything in one go. When you say first tranche is, I mean, there are sticky areas of, GM crops, and there are agriculture-related issues, and, you're saying all those issues need not all be solved in one go. We can do it in tranches, or we're likely to do it in tranches.
You will recall that in February, the joint announcement spoke of tranche 1 of the bilateral trade agreement.
Okay.
So I can assure you India's interests, our farmers' interests, our interests of our fishermen, of our small-scale industry, MSMEs, will always be paramount. Our religious sensitivities will always be respected and protected, and will certainly work towards agreement which is a win-win and which respects each other's sensitivities.
Right, but they're just talking to you. I mean, sorry, being curious reporter here, they're still talking to Ms. Piyush Goyal. It's...
all negotiations happen in the closed room, not through the media.
How I would like to be a fly on the wall. You wear a suit or something? I'm just sorry, a lighter question. What happens, Piyush? When you go in these circumstances, is it war? Are you having it out? Do you have a coffee with each other after that? Do you talk normally? How is it happening? I mean,
not at all.
No?
Not at all. We have very friendly relations, and I am very comfortable with my counterparts.
Right.
We have very frank and healthy discussions.
Do you feel like when you see a statement from Mr. Navarro, do you also feel like giving it back? You always very controlled with your words and expressions. You never got into a war of words.
Have you heard? Have you ever heard me say anything like that?
No.
Anytime?
Never. In all these years I've known you, never.
So I think we have. This is a very consequential, strategic relationship.
Yes.
And we respect this relationship.
Last question to you, sir. Just last question to you. And by the way, we just had a tweet from the Prime Minister, I'm sure you are more than aware, where he said that, he's had a great chat with the EU and looking forward to concluding a EU trade deal very, very soon. Can you throw any light on that? Because this conversation that has happened must have happened in the backdrop of almost a lot of work being done.
Certainly, the EU and India are engaged in very intense negotiations and discussions.
Yes.
My Commerce Secretary was in Brussels only Monday, Tuesday.
Yes.
Their team comes down next week for negotiation round. The Trade Commissioner Maros Sherkovich will be in India from 11th onwards.
Wow.
So we are in a regular dialogue, in a very good atmosphere. And just like we concluded a very, very innovative agreement with EFTA, Switzerland, Norway,
Yes,
Liechtenstein,
yes.
and Iceland, just like last month we concluded the UK trade deal,
Yes.
where Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Starmer were there present when we executed the final
Yes, at
documents.
Chequers, yes.
I'm sure we'll be able to do a good, fair deal with the EU also.
Last point, sir, is that was this GST major announcement, which you have started by saying is the biggest reform since independence, was this a consequence of the tariff issue with the United States?
How can it be, Arnab? Look at the vast depth of changes. This takes months of hard work. The labor of love that must have gone into this would probably run into more than a year.
True.
The work started with groups of secretaries, groups of ministers, Honorable Finance Minister putting in hours and burning the midnight oil with her team, the Honorable Prime Minister giving us guidance and really running this whole process like a captain. It has been a lot of painstaking work, but we knew that the compensation sets will come to an end around this time in the coming few months. So obviously this was preparation was going on. It is a matter of coincidence that the two have, that the twain have met, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, our effort is to promote domestic demand. Our effort is to help our consumers. And the larger message is of Swadeshi, that the sweat and toil of our Indian people, the products of India made on Indian soil, देश की मिट्टी में बना हुआ, भारत के खून पसीने से बना हुआ सामान ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बिके, लोगों के घरों में पहुंचे. And I find that today 140 crore Indians are very passionate about buying Indian.
That's true.
Be Indian, buy Indian.
That's true.
Story is really catching on like wildfire.
Yes.
And I request you to run a campaign on Republic, which is Bharat's channel.
Yes.
Run a campaign on Swadeshi and ensure that every child born in this country gets prosperity, with each of us supporting each other by buying Swadeshi goods in the future. Forget the past, whatever has happened. Frankly, Narendra Modi ji is meeting the dreams, the vision and mission of Mahatma Gandhi. Be it Swachhata, be it inclusive growth, be it customer is king, Mahatma Gandhi used to say that, be it his mission of Swadeshi, everything that Mahatma Gandhi ji said, Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi is fulfilling.
Well, that's tremendous. I thank you very much, Mr. Goyal. You've been very candid. And what I like is the hard work that the Modi government puts in. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the best thing. Hard work, complete dedication, and selflessness. I thank you, Piyush Goyal. This has been wonderful. Look forward to seeing you soon. And best of luck with the EU trade deal as well. Thank you. Master Negotiator, Union Minister for Commerce and Industry,
Thank you,
Piyush Goyal, ladies and gentlemen. Remarkable man. Remarkable man. Thank you so much, Piyush. Let's open the debate. I see people who have nothing to say against this. I see Lokesh. I see Siddharth Sharma, who's the AAP national spokesperson. He has an economics background, as does Sanju Verma of the BJP. You have nothing to contest. You can't pull water out of a rock, Siddharth, and say, I have to criticize the government. Kuch to bolna hai. Huh? Otherwise, Arvind Kejriwal will call you right now saying, what are you doing on Arnab's program? Come on, Siddharth, be honest.
Yeah, well, taking a leaf out of what the Honorable Commerce Minister said, discussions with the US, even if they are contentious, they are cordial. So now since our government's Punjab finance minister attended and ratified the new GST regime, I won't be taking a very adversarial position in this show. In fact, I hope Arnab would not mind if I quote another very famous Goswami from 500 years ago, Goswami Tulsidas. He said, Mukhiya mukso chahiye, an pan ko ek, Pale pose sakal ang tulsi sahit vivek. And that's beautifully reflected in the Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, that India is a union of states, that the well-being of parts called states begets well-being of the whole called India. Now, coming back to the GST meeting that happened on 21st and 22nd of last month, it had multiple sessions on rationalization, compensation, all these things. We welcomed then itself both the rationalization and the admission of the central government that rupees 60,000 crore worth of Punjab compensation money will be given by the center by October. Now, since then, some ground realities have changed. Sudden floods have engulfed Punjab. Our simple demand is to expedite that 60,000 crore return to now, as in ASAP, as in immediately. If Taliban can get earthquake help from BJP government, Arnab, I think Punjabis reeling under floods too deserve at least the same, if not better. In fact, I'd request viewers of Republic Channel also, you can please donate to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund of Punjab, because Punjab needs it. Punjab.
What has this got to do with GST 2.0? Sanju.
Please come in, Arnab.
Sanju.
Thank you. Thank you. Arnab, nice to see and nice to know that the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson also has an economics background. But, gone are the days when Arnab Goswami used to, give flattering introductions about Sanju Verma. I have an investment banking background too. If you don't know, I worked with the likes of JP Morgan. Yeah, thank you so much, Arnab. But now, this is not about me. Let's get one thing very clear. I have been on a zillion debates in the last 24 odd hours, and Congress spokespersons are saying, "Arey, GST to hamara idea hai." Let's get one thing very clear. Arnab. The Vijay Kelkar committee recommended GST in 2004. Congress was in power between 2004 and 2014. The proxy government of Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh could not bring GST to fruition. What do they say? Oh, the BJP was in opposition and they did not want GST. That's wrong. The reason why GST could not be implemented by the Congress for the longest time was because in that period, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra was a man called Prithviraj Chavan. In Haryana, the Chief Minister of Congress that time was a man called Bhupinder Singh Hooda. And Bhupinder Singh Hooda and Prithviraj Chavan clearly said GST cannot be implemented, and Sonia Gandhi...
They conceded defeat. They didn't want to do it.
Caved in. My final point, please, Arnab, just bear with me. My final point is this. In politics, you are only as good as your deliverables. If you build flaky castles in the air, but you're not able to implement your ideas on the ground, you're good for nothing. Prime Minister Modi is the only leader in post-independent India who has two things. One, he has grand vision. And two, more importantly, he's the only leader whose grand vision he himself translates into seamless execution. That is the reason GST 2.0 is a reality. That is the reason GST 1.0 was also a reality in 2017. And I always say this, GST 2.0 will reduce inflation even further. It's already down to 1.55%. It will lead to better compliances. It will lead to ease of doing businesses for smaller traders and business houses. It will lead to ease of living. But most importantly, imagine, Arnab, from roti, dal, atta, ghee, doodh, besan, maida, suji, chini, chawal, coffee, chai, toothpaste, toothbrush, chammach, cup, shampoo, soap bar, detergent bars. I can go on. The GST is either 0% or 5%. And my final point before I hand over to the other panelists, only for one reason, Prime Minister Narendra Modi should come back again in 2029 for the fact that for the first time in more than 75 years, the tax on life insurance is zero. The tax on health insurance is zero. The tax on family floater insurance policies is zero. Imagine, Arnab, our insurance penetration is barely 4%, whereas in US, the insurance penetration is more than 7%. because of this one single step.
Okay, now,
Insurance penetration
Sanju.
in India will rise by at least 4 or 5 times, by 400 or 500%, something which even Mr. Mehrotra will agree with.
No, Mr. Mehrotra will agree, but the question Mr. Mehrotra must answer. Why couldn't you guys do it? But more than that, why didn't you even try? You knew it would help the country. I'm not saying you do anything. You wanted to say that if there are riots, Hindus should be held responsible and Muslims should be seen to be the victim. This kind of thing you people did. Lokesh, listen to me. You wanted to bring in a communal violence bill that would make Hindus the perpetrators of communal violence and Muslims the victims. These kind of things you did. When people asked you, why didn't you do something for us, Chidambaram said, why do you have to have ice cream? Remember that? Santosh, why do you have to have ice cream? Prime Minister is saying, I have ice cream, buy air conditioners, live a better life. But why didn't you guys try? Santosh Mehrotra, could you answer that, please? How disappointed must you be today that this has happened, but it has happened so many years, so much effort it has taken of a determined government, that why didn't you have the thinking that you want to make the system easier for business? Why didn't you streamline things? Why didn't you improve the ease of doing business, attracting investment? Everything is not about making money through Commonwealth Games. Yes, Mr. Mehrotra. Why wasn't there this kind of thought earlier? Yes.
Arnab, the GST was conceived 10 years, just 8 years or so before this government came to power in 2014. You know that, right?
Yes.
It was conceived, it was all written up, and it was systematically opposed by the current Prime Minister and the party that he leads. So let's not fudge the facts. So it is obviously a coalition government, and there were some parties which are opposing it, and there was considerable opposition from many of the other parties as well. Anyway, be that as it may, the real question today is that, first of all, I think the government deserves to be congratulated that it has done something that people like us.
We didn't try to do. I'll complete your statement. Right, Sohail? So actually, Sohail is back.
By that logic...
So Sohail is on the debate. Sohail is on the debate, yeah. Sohail and Santosh Mehrotra. Yeah, go on.
Mr. Mehrotra, by that logic, in hindsight, everyone has 20/20 sight. The issue here is very simple. It has happened today. Are you happy or are you unhappy?
Are you happy or unhappy? Yeah.
Think there's a good sign? I believe it's a good sign for the country. A. B. I said on Republic, my 4-point formula, that you have to incentivize Indian industry. You have to help Indian industry go abroad. We need Indian brands to fly overseas. And I think this GST reformation is going to help boost Indian consumption. And I think we should be happy about that. You know, the problem is we in India have a problem for every solution. Jab karo tab galiyan khao, jab nahi karo tab galiyan khao.
Very true.
Ab ho gaya na? And Mr. Mehrotra, you're a man of wisdom. Yeah. You're a man who's wise and intelligent. Do you want to be the man who always finds fault with everything?
Yeah.
You're not that kind of person.
Why has he become like that?
You believe and you owe allegiance to a particular lineage or a particular ideology, it doesn't mean you throw the baby with the bathwater.
Correct.
For God's sake, today smile. The country is happy. Why should you be the only bitter chap on this panel?
So I'm laughing. My brother, my friend. By the way, you and I are neighbors. We are barely a kilometer apart in New Delhi. अरे मेरे दोस्त, बात तो समझो यार. मैं सिर्फ इतना कह रहा हूं कि मैं बहुत खुश हूं कि वो काम हो रहा है जो काम 8 साल पहले हो जाना चाहिए था. मैं बस इतना कह रहा हूं सोहेल. देखो मोटी बात
पहले आपके बाल होने चाहिए थे, नहीं है ना? पर हम अब भी खुश हैं. हाँ. मेरे को पतला होना चाहिए था. मैं नहीं हूं.
अरे मैं बहुत खुश हूं, मगर दिक्कत ये है मेरे दोस्त, दिक्कत ये है,
दिक्कत मत करिए. You are sounding like a communist.
अरे मेरे दोस्त सुन तो लो, मैंने तो तुमको नहीं डिस्टर्ब किया, इंटरप्ट नहीं कर रहा था मैं तुम्हें. तुम मुझसे लड़ लेना, मैं तुम्हारा पड़ोसी हूँ, मैं 1 ही
I'll
किलोमीटर
never
दूर
fight
हूँ
with you,
तुमसे.
never. You're too decent a man,
Just look.
and I'm not the kind of fights with people. We will have an intellectual disagreement without being disagreeable. Now that's
हाँ
perfectly
ठीक है, ठीक है, टॉपी पर बुलाना तुम अपना, तुम्हारा पड़ोसी हूँ मैं. अच्छा मेरी बात सुनो, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ भाई कि ये काम आपके ही चीफ इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजर अरविंद सुब्रमण्यम नाम के थे, उन्होंने ये कहा था कि 2-3 रेट से ज्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए.
तो ठीक है,
आपने रेट
उस टाइम नहीं सुना किसी ने.
Soil.
प्रधानमंत्री तो वही है ना. And let me tell you, Mr. Mehrotra, you know this. It takes a very strong leader to admit to a course correction. It takes a very strong human being to admit to a course correction, because sometimes vanity and ego come in the way. I'm delighted we have a prime minister who's made that course correction. Why? Because the country needs it. I'm delighted that we have stood up to the bully that Donald J. Trump is. And I'm delighted that we have taken control of our economy.
No, but why are you people, why are you being mealy-mouthed about it? One second. See, Lokesh, this is the biggest tax reset since 1991. The scale of the reform matches the 1991 liberalization. कहने में तकलीफ होती है क्या, Lokesh? And get Sanju Verma back. Just we were not on TV for 5 minutes, she walked away. That's not fair. Yeah, Lokesh, why can't you say this is tremendous? Something like this, a simplified 2-tier structure, the impact for the country? Why are you guys looking at this same sense of shock? Lokesh. Unmute yourself, Lokesh. Unmute yourself, yeah, at least do that. Someone unmute him.
Computer band ho gaya.
Hello, am I audible now? Yes. Good evening, Arnab.
Location.
Arnab, see, majority of the items that have had deductions in the GST, they are day-to-day items, which constitute about 44 to 45%.
No, what do you want them to be? Month to month, week to week items?
No, but what I'm saying is that these reforms.
No, what kind of criticism is this? Day-to-day items.
Can I come in,
Many
please?
of the items that are there, they are day-to-day consumable items. The objective of the government has been to stimulate a demand-driven growth. But over here, the problem is that these items, they constitute about 44% of the state revenues. And for the center, it is only 22 to 23%. The major losers in this form of a GST roadmap will be the states. The compensation tax levy is getting over in October. Has the center come up with any roadmap so as to have the problems of the deficit for the states?
But this is a decision that has included the state governments in the GST Council. Sanju.
Can I please come? Thank you. Arnab, first and foremost, there was some glitch with the Zoom link, and I did not disappear from television.
I thought you saw Sohail and walked out.
Yeah. Let me say one thing, for the benefit of your audience. There is a difference between the 1991 reforms and the reforms under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The 1991 reforms were done under compulsion. India had to mortgage 47 MT of gold with the Bank of England to raise a mere $400 million. Today, imagine, we are a country which is growing at 7.8% GDP, has an inflation of 1.5%, has the world's 4th largest foreign exchange reserves, has the world's 5th largest stock market capitalization, has the world's 7th largest gold reserves. Bina kisi compulsion ke, without having a gun to his head, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took the call that ab GST 2.0 lagu kiya jaye. So there is a basic difference between what Manmohan Singh did and what Prime Minister Modi is doing. And taking off from what Suhail said, let's not forget in the last 11 years, be it opening the coal sector to the private sector, be it opening the space sector to the private sector, be it bringing FDI in single brand and multi-brand retail with checks and balances, be it opening up FDI in a limited sense to the defense and railway space, be it bringing in income tax reforms by saying, if you're a salaried individual till 12.75 lakh per annum, you pay zero tax. And now saying, from atta, dal,
you do not have a single point to counter that today. Have you come empty-handed to my program?
I want to say one quick thing.
Siddharth has come empty-handed.
No, it's not. It's the other way around.
Tulsidas.
Okay. Okay. You want me to spar a little bit? Okay.
No, I
fine,
don't want you to
I'll do
spar.
that.
I'm saying, why can't you be honest and say that Modi has done on his own, what Manmohan Singh, right, had to do under compulsion, but this is greater. This is a great tax reset.
just
It's
one
never
point.
happened in the world
Today,
anywhere.
a repo rate.
Don't be this.
Today, a
I just
repo
want to see a
rate
little
is
generosity in your heart.
5.5%.
I want you to see a little open-mindedness from you.
5.75%.
Absolutely,
We have the lowest
Arnab.
interest rates in
Honesty
the
cuts
world.
both ways, okay?
Today we
I
have
would
the
have
lowest
loved it if
interest
the
rates in the
BJP
world.
spokesperson would also have appealed for
Good window.
from the people of India watching Republic that they please help the Punjabis reeling under floods through the Chief Minister's
I wanna
Relief
tell
Fund.
you about-
I would have loved
Soil
the
is on.
honesty.
Soil is
I'm
on.
going to tell you about
On the five
Punjab.
window. Soil.
Let me tell you one
In the middle, yeah, Soil.
So don't tell me about Punjab. Arvind Kejriwal today went to Bhagwat Man's house in a convoy of 27 cars. That is what you people do. Aam Aadmi Party, my foot. Lead with example, my friend. When Arvind Kejriwal took over, I was a great supporter because I thought there was some hope. There is no hope.
Siddharth.
Don't give me this. Now, you know, my friend Siddharth, you know, I hate all political parties. I hate them. But let me tell you,
No, you
Aam
hate,
Aadmi Party
I
has
know,
been
I
despicable.
understand you,
Siddharth,
Sohail. You
despicable.
hate all political parties except BJP. That's fine with you.
I hate the
point
BJP
here
too.
is not
I hate
about
the
BJP or
BJP.
Aam Aadmi
Sanju
Party.
Verma.
The point
I
here is
hate the
about
BJP too.
Punjabis. People of Punjab.
I don't know.
Isn't
See,
it true
Siddharth,
that
I
the
don't
people
know.
of Punjab have been
Siddharth,
at the
you don't
forefront
seem-
of helping
you
India?
don't seem to
They
be
run
the
the
kind
Okay.
of person who's ever read
Gurudwara
Shakespeare.
in Tamil
Okay.
Nadu.
Tell you a
Isn't it
quotation
true?
from Julius Caesar.
They deserve
When
better.
Brutus
If
stabbed
government of
Julius
India,
Caesar,
that is the
Mark
BJP
Antony asked him,
government,
why did you
sends
stab
troops to
Caesar?
Taliban
He said, it's not that I loved Caesar less, but I loved Rome more. It's not that I hate Aam Aadmi Party, but I love my country more. Now, do you get the context?
Sanju,
Read
Sanju.
Helping
Get
the
the
people
last
of
minute,
Punjab.
Sanju.
Does the chief minister have no responsibility? Does Aam Aadmi Party have no responsibility towards the people of
Siddharth and
Punjab?
Sanju.
Does Bhagwant Singh Mann have no responsibility towards the people of Punjab? Does Arvind Kejriwal have no responsibility towards the people of Punjab?
Object to the money muffled by the center. GST came in 2017. Since then, 27 amendments have taken place. 15 times the GST rates of various goods have been reduced. All this adds to compensation to
राय पंजाब की तिजोरी को आम आदमी पार्टी ने खाली कर दिया है पंजाब के टैक्स पेयर्स के बलबूते पर पंजाब की इकोनॉमी चलती थी पर आप लोगों ने
My friend Siddharth, my friend, let me tell you, you all should be happy because on a lot of beverages, the GST has been kind of amortized. The beverages that one of your people is really fond of. So be happy. हर चीज में आपको अड़ंगापन पा रही है. As they say in Punjabi, रोज तुसी स्यापा ही करोगे. स्यापा ते मुकाओ ना. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਂਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਏ ਨਹੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਚੀਫ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਿਆਪਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਸਿਆਪਾ ਤੇ ਬੰਦ ਕਰੋ
Modi Sarkar has admitted to its master existing GST slab.
ਓ ਯਾਰ ਸਿਧਾਰਥ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਂਦੀ ਨਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਜਾਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖੋ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੁਧਿਆਣਾ ਜਾਓ ਜਲੰਧਰ ਜਾਓ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਭਾਗ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੈਪੀ ਆਵਰਸ 10 ਵਜੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੇ means he's happy about being chief minister.
This is
I'm
not
not
about
alluding to anything
Bhagwant Mann.
else.
This is not neither about Bhagwant Mann. You cannot. This is neither about Bhagwant Mann. This is an insult to the people of Punjab who are reeling and
I take your point seriously now. The point is, Siddharth, I take it very seriously what you've said. We all are very concerned about the situation in Punjab. In fact, we will do everything we can to
Kejriwal come
highlight.
on television.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a big day. Louder for us.
That's how Facebook chaps are.
ਚਾਕੜ ਰੋਣਾ ਧੋਣਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਮੋਦੀ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੇਜਰੀਵਾਲ ਨੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ 에ਅਰਕ੍ਰਾਫਟ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ 90 ਲੱਖ ਦਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਪਿਆ ਹੈ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ
ਮਾਹੌਲ ਖਰਾਬ ਕੀਤਾ
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਨਾ
ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਆਂਦਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ
ਯਾਰ ਸਿਧਾਰਥ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ
ਆਕਰ ਰੋਣਾ ਧੋਣਾ ਮੋਦੀ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਇਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਬਚਿਆ ਹੈ
This used to be an English program. This used to be an English program once upon a time. And ladies and gentlemen, no prizes for guessing. The only people who get no GST relief is us. Nothing changes for journalists. Nothing changes for us at all. But this is a great reform, a big reform, the biggest tax revolution in over 3 decades. Sweeping two-slab structure. We should be very proud, and we should all do our bit now. We are also vested in fighting the headwinds that India is facing. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।